Welcome back to the Order Flow Edge channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to add all the different types of delta to your chart. CVD, bar delta, and delta by price. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to show you a way you can use built-in Sierra chart studies to create your own delta triggers directly on your chart. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to come to Analysis and Studies where you can hit F6. And we are going to go right up to the C's. And the cumulative delta in Sierra chart is cumulative delta bars volume. We're going to add that to our chart. The settings, the default settings are pretty much how you would want it. In the subgraphs, this is where you could change the draw style if you don't want it to be candlesticks, to open, high, low, close bars, stair step, wherever you want. And you can change the colors. Default is red and green. We will leave it on the default. Now in the second region, we have our cumulative volume delta. The next one that we're going to add is the delta bars. That is going to be the ask/bid volume difference bars. We're going to add that to the chart. Again, in the settings, right here is where you would change the draw style. It's defaulted to candlesticks and red and green, and we will leave it just as is. It's going to put it in chart region 3 since we already have the CVD in 2. So we'll click apply, and now we have the individual bar delta down here at the bottom of the chart. The last one that we're going to add is the delta by price. So we will just go ahead and have volume by price, and we're going to add that to the chart. This one, the settings, we're going to come in here and we're going to change the volume graph period type to, we want it to be from session start time to end time. That'll give us the full session. This is a full session chart from 1800 to 1700. So it'll just give us the delta for the full day. And then, sorry, I have these settings set like that. We'll set that to no. And then use separate profile for evening session. We'll set this to no, even though I have it as a full session chart. Right here, the volume bar width, I'm going to change this to window width. I don't want it to be 70% of my window, so I will change that to 10. And then I want the profile to be on the right side of my chart, so I will select right align to yes. Now right here, this is where we're going to make it into delta bars. Volume bar calculation method will be defaulted to total volume. We're going to switch this to ask volume minus bid volume. And then right here, the bid volume, ask volume coloring method, we want it to be difference of bid and ask volume coloring. Now we don't want to have our value areas on here, so we will set these to no and none, and we will do the same for the point of control as well. And then we want it on the far right, so align to far right, we will select it to yes. And then in the subgraphs, the default color is going to be this dark green and dark red. And then the numbers on there are going to be defaulted to this white for positive and a purplish color for negative. We'll go ahead and click apply. Somewhere I didn't get my value area off of here. Go ahead and change that now. And then you can see here we have a single one tick delta by price right there. It's kind of smashed because this is a 5-minute chart. We'll go ahead and make it smaller again. If you are on a bigger time frame chart and you want to combine some of them, you'll come into the settings, and where it says ticks per volume bar, we'll go ahead and bump this up to 4. And now we have every 1 point has its own individual bar. Now, if we wanted to see the numbers, we would come here where it says display volume in bars, and we would again select ask volume minus bid volume, click apply, and now you can see we have the numbers over here on the right attached to the base. Now, if you didn't want them on the base and you wanted them on the outside of the bar, you're going to come down. It's down here towards the bottom right here. Align volume numbers to base of volume bars, defaulted to yes. We will switch this to no and click apply. And now you can see it moved them to the outside. Now, if you wanted to change the color of them and make it so that your positive is green and your negative is red, you would just change these right here, click apply, and there you go. Now you can see we have every 1 point has its delta and the numbers are on the outside. Now, if you only wanted to see bigger numbers and you didn't want to see all of the smaller numbers, back over here in the settings and inputs where it says volume text threshold, it's defaulted to 0 to show all. We'll go ahead and put it at 500. Click apply, and now you can see all the numbers that were under 500, whether positive or negative, disappeared from there. So that's about it right there. I did say stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how you can create your own custom delta triggers. So for this, we are going to get rid of the cumulative volume delta bars. Click apply, and then we're going to add the Bollinger bands, and we'll add them down here towards the bottom, just the regular Bollinger bands. Come into the settings, and we're going to switch this to chart region 3, and where it says based on, we're going to switch this to ask/bid volume difference bars. I believe the default for the Bollinger bands is set close, length 20, and I think standard deviations 2. I like this set to 1. Simple moving average, that's also the default. And then it just has your top, middle, and bottom band. I believe the colors are different. And we'll go ahead and click apply. And now that gave us the Bollinger bands based on the delta over the delta bars. Now, to make our own custom triggers for this, we are going to add a study in Sierra chart called color bar based on alert condition. And we're going to add that to the chart. And then in the settings, so basically what we're going to be looking for is every time we get one of these big positive bars or one of these big negative bars, we can see they cross that top and bottom band of the delta. So we're using the Bollinger bands to gauge where we're getting extreme positive and negative delta. This is going to be just a real simple trigger. So what we would do to create our formulas, and you can use like ChatGPT if you have trouble writing formulas and just explain to them what it is you're trying to look for. So we're using 2 different studies. We're using this one right here, which is ID2, ask by bid volume difference bars, and then we're only wanting to use the close of it. I know it can get confusing with this because you see the close is in red, but the close is going to always be the close of the bar. Even if it's positive, it will still be SG4. So this is ID2, and the close is subgraph 4. So that would be, we want every time one of these bars closes above, and then looking at the Bollinger bands, our top band, so this is ID4 for the Bollinger bands, and our top band is SG1, and our bottom band is SG3. So for our positive delta signal, every time one of the delta bars closes above the top Bollinger band, we want to get a signal, and every time a delta bar closes below the lower Bollinger band, we want to get a signal. Now you could just explain it to ChatGPT literally just like that and give it the ID numbers and the subgraphs that you're using. So the ID numbers and subgraphs are always going to be over here. It'll have the SG by it for which subgraph it is. Again, for the delta bars, we're going to be using only the close. And then for the Bollinger bands, we're going to be using the top band SG1 and bottom band SG3. Okay, so coming back to our color bar based on alert condition, this is where we'll go ahead and do the positive one first. We'll stick with the red and green. We'll make a green. And then for the purpose of this, we will just make it a point on low. Sierra chart has literally every draw style you can think of. So you could do, a triangle up, triangle down, arrows, diamonds. But for this, we're just going to use point on low. 1 is a pretty small size, so we'll go ahead and make that a 4. And then over here, this is where we're going to put our alert so that it knows what bars to highlight. I already have the formulas written out, so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this into there. Again, if you have trouble writing these kind of formulas, you can literally just ask ChatGPT to do it for you. This is a pretty basic formula. All it is saying is ID2 SG4, which is the delta close, is greater than ID4 SG1, the top Bollinger Band. I'm going to go ahead and check enabled, which is defaulted, reset alert condition on new bar, alert only once per bar, and evaluate on bar close. And then in the settings and inputs, this is where you would select how many bars back you want it to calculate. 2000 seems fine. Right here, output condition when true is defaulted to 1.0. We're going to switch this to use input data. And then where it says input data, because we want this for a long signal to be below the bar, we're going to select the low. And then we'll just go ahead and click apply. And now you can see we have a couple of green circles on the chart right there. We'll go ahead and add this on here one more time. And we'll go ahead and make our short version of this. So we'll come again into the settings. And while we're already here, we're going to just change the same thing. Input data. Because this is a short one, we want it above the bar, we will leave that to high. And then in the subgraphs, we'll change this to red. And then we will select point on high. We will make it the same size, size 4. And then the alert we'll paste right in here. So you can see on this one, ID2 SG4, the bar close, the delta bar close, is less than ID4 SG3, which is the lower Bollinger Band. Check our check boxes, and we'll click apply on that as well. Okay. And now you can see that every time we had a big green delta bar close above the Bollinger Band, we get a green signal. And then every time we had a negative bar close below the lower band, we also got a signal on our chart. The nice thing about Sierra chart is you can create these formulas. They can be as complex as you want. And then so that you don't have to see all the other studies, you can come in here and you can go ahead and check hide for the delta bars and hide on the Bollinger Bands and click apply. Okay. And there you go. Now you can see we have a nice clean chart with the delta bars and the Bollinger Bands hidden. And every single time we get an extreme positive or an extreme negative delta, we do get a signal on our chart. This is a 5-minute chart. This is something that I would probably combine with some other studies to kind of filter out some of the noise. And I would probably honestly use it on a little bit of a lower time frame, maybe a volume-based chart or even a tick-based chart or something like that. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what kind of videos you guys want to see. If you want to see more of these tutorials, if you found it helpful, let me know what's the thing you're struggling with most in Sierra chart, and I'll see if I can make a video to help you out. I'm out for the day. Have a great day.